All right, so here's another update. Just following up on what the greenhouse looks like from the outside, because I forgot to do that on the last greenhouse video. This is what it looks like, and you can see kind of how it's structured with the cattle panels wrapping around the top here and attaching to the box that runs around. The only thing I would do really differently if I were to do this again is I would make the box a little bit wider, because the sides actually, we had to push them in a little too far on the inside, and that's why we needed the bracers on the inside to attach the panels to. If I had done the box at 7 feet or maybe 8 feet instead of 6 feet wide, I think it would have been a little bit easier on the panels to just kind of rest naturally and not need that extra support, and be able to just do it with the end caps here and having those framed out and kind of having those 3 or 4 points of contact. So anyway, but you can see how we tied everything down. My best friend is amazing and helps me out with so much of this stuff. It's insane, because I'm not really that like handy. I'm pretty hands off when it comes to all that kind of stuff. So he was able to figure a lot of this stuff out just on the fly, and I just don't have that kind of a brain. So anyway, but we secured everything down with paracord, and just kind of put screws into some 2x2s around the base, and that kind of holds everything together. It's probably a little bit of overkill, because I've got some panels here that reinforce the bottoms, and I don't know that I need those, but I was trying to think about like keeping rodents out of my greenhouse, so that's why they're there. And then the stuff that I really spent the money on for this thing, it cost about $1,000 when everything was all said and done. But the majority of the money in it, aside from the wood, was this polycarbonate stuff. But if you have the opportunity to buy polycarbonate sheeting like this, it makes everything so much easier. This stuff is great. I really like this stuff. So this is the opinions of somebody that doesn't really grow that much, or previously in my younger years didn't grow anything and have always wanted a greenhouse, and I did everything myself. And I got to give a shout out to my friend Chris for helping me with everything. And anyway, all right, so these are the trees that I pulled out of the greenhouse it was right exactly at a week ago. And you can see most of them are doing really well. It was supposed to be cloudy and rainy, but you know, yesterday and today we've got like major sun going on, so you know, they had the better part of a week without any sun. But a couple of them are feeling a little puny. This one here, this is my Tia Pena. It's looking a little ratty, but it's got FMV, and I think that's part of the reason why. But you see how long this leaf stem is? It was a little leggy. So leggy trees tend to suffer more when you put them outside. For the most part, though, all the trees that were grown in the greenhouse, because of the UV rating on the plastic, all the leaves are really nice and thick. And so the transition going outside has been really relatively easy. This one's a little thin. This is a really late one. I got it because I thought it had Breva, but now I'm not sure if it does or not. This one's called De La Gloria. So this one will probably end up going back in the greenhouse. But I've got several that have Breba on them. This one's called Fico Greco. This is a special tree. I got this one from Mario, who unfortunately passed away this year. The guy shared so many trees with people and so much knowledge with people. It's incredible what he did for the community. So, but anyway, I mean, I've got Breba on a few. There's some that look better than others, which is always going to be the case. The thing that I try to keep in mind when I pull trees out of the greenhouse, I did this last year too. I tried to make sure that the temperatures outside are going to be above 40 degrees at night consistently. You know, if it drops down to like 38 or something for a few hours, that's not a big deal. Most of the trees will handle that. My greenhouse isn't typically heated anyway, so they're used to those temperature swings. And they all sail through, you know, those high 30, low 40 nights just fine. Anything below like 37, 36, if it's starting to get into mid to low 30s, then that's a problem. So just try to keep that in mind if you're pulling stuff out of a greenhouse or out of your garage, or if you're pulling stuff out of your house. Don't put them in full sun, and make really sure they're protected from any low temperatures. My stuff, like I said, it's not typically heated. The only reason I had a heater in the greenhouse this year is because we had temperatures going to like low 20s at certain points, and I wanted to protect like the citrus trees that were in the greenhouse. So and I just put it at the lowest setting. So that's that. So if you're trying to figure out how to transition stuff, it's not like rocket science. You just want to keep them out of the sun as much as you can. And if you have a shade cloth, if you don't have shade available, if I wanted to, I could put them over here against this fence, and they would get shade for the majority of the morning. This is all in full sun by noon usually. If I really wanted to protect them, I could go throw them up there under the deck in that spot there, or back there in that little walkway back there where it gets morning sun, and they would be fine. So, but they're usually pretty safe this time of year. So, all right, that's update number 2 for today, and we can go through and I can show like some of the differences and what the in-ground trees look like, what some of the potted trees that didn't get any protection look like versus what these look like. So it's pretty stark contrast between the two. Okay, all right, see you on the next one.